Okay, holy, that was a little. Comrades, I have not had time to put my uniform on, so we'll do. Shit. If you could have seen the bad day that I had that just ended, if it starts bad, then it's going to end great. So, and I'll keep you posted on that. But good evening, Gotham. Good morning, Metropolis, Emerald City, Xanadu, Babylon, to the ISS, and the rest of you. It is, what are we? Tuesday, 3/22, 2022. An interesting number in the world of numerology when it comes to things like the skull and bones and secret societies. We're not doing that tonight. We already did that on the Conspiracy Keepers earlier today. It should be up on the internet for you. Conspiracy Keepers. I think it's conspiracykeepers.com. It might be the. You go find it. Joe Lanier, myself, Backlash LaRue, and Jackie Selby chiming in on that and some other things. Um, Interesting headlines out of England, out of Tokyo, out of the Ukraine, obviously, and now the participating nations having all of these emergency summit meetings that were scheduled last week. Jen Psaki will not, I repeat, not be attending the emergency summit. As per the CDC guidelines, she did in fact test positive for COVID, so she'll be staying home. Okay. When do I get to use that? Jesus God, it's 11 o'clock at night. He's still wearing his sunglasses. I'm fine, really. Um, should have some notes somewhere. I literally busted open the door, sat down. I have a soda somewhere, and I poured one in a. Okay, I got one. I got one with plenty of ice. I I may take a job that requires me to be in charge of the ice for the summer. We're not having any more of this supply chain shortage nonsense. Notebooks would be very helpful right now. I do not want to run these through my head. We can. Again, Gotham, I'm sorry, 11 o'clock means 11 o'clock, and and I was preoccupied. So, Jen Psaki, in fact, on Twitter. Thank God we got Twitter. We should see what Ahmadinejad is texting today. Tweeting, excuse me. Um, per the CDC guidelines, she's tested positive for COVID. How many times is this now? And didn't you get both? And but the variant, and it could be, and out of an abundance of caution. Wow. Okay. I don't even know how to speculate regarding mask theater in the international community when the embarrassing behavior by Congress parading out, and I keep getting this wrong. Is it Ketanji Brown Jackson or Ketanji Jackson Brown? Not trying to offend. What should everyone should be offended by is, we're not going to have another one of these Kavanaugh hearings. Well, no, because the Democrats are now in charge, and this is, remember, the adults are in the room. Then why are we not allowed to ask about her voting, or about not her voting record, her judicial record, her, you know, your record, your resume? Hey, you seem to be kind of soft on crime here when it comes to the pedophiles. You hate black people. No, I'm just pointing this out, and that you hate women. No, the woman actually grew the pair of testicles to ask the question that Senator Lindsey, where's my purse Graham, simply couldn't. He can absolutely say that he wants to assassinate Vladimir Putin because it's a completely idle threat. Being face to face in the room and going, hey, where do you stand? Yeah, why do you give lesser sentences? Oh, that's kind of an uncomfortable question for. I don't think Lindsey Graham can pull that answer out of his purse. The 180-degree spin of members of Congress now coming out in bipartisanship to deliver tens of more billions of dollars in everything from nutrition to ammunition. No soldiers. We're still debating on the fighter jets. F-16s to Poland to Ukraine. This is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. This is a really bad idea. You know, if this doesn't happen, World War III is here. I hate to tell you, doesn't matter what happens, World War III is already here. Global sanctions. We now have a boogeyman. Now we need to gin up the victims. Oh, we need the victims. No one is telling. I am not a Putin loyalist. I am not a Russian sympathizer. I love the good people of Russia. Again, I don't call it Russia because the people that I'm associates with are from the Soviet Union. This nonsense and in my delightful distraction this evening. Someone thinks it is beyond my delight when I say, you know that so and so is this. What? I didn't know that. See, they don't want you to know that. See, you know, and then the comment was Zelensky. So first, what I said off the record about Putin, it was in a social setting. So there's no hot microphones or no gotcha moment. They asked me what my take on Putin was, which means it's my opinion and I'm allowed to give it. And they're not judgmental and for whatever reason they don't find my voice irritating in English and they wanted to hear it. And I said the problem with Putin is that in the West, he's automatically, he's crazy, he's a madman, he's nuts, which is just transferring the last person we said was a madman, he's crazy, he's nuts. So we've just misdirected that to this. When in fact, Putin, and then they said, well, what about Zelensky? And I said, hold on. Putin is not Russian. If we're really going to sit down and do the dossiers, Vladimir Putin comes from East Germany. He comes from the days of the Stasi and the fall of the Berlin Wall. And his ability, third dimensional chess out of the box, and I forget because I don't have his dossier in front of me. Leaving after the wall goes down in East Berlin, East Germany, Putin comes back to Mother Russia, but not to Moscow, and I forget if it's St. Petersburg or Leningrad. I want to say St. Petersburg because of other associates, because as the wall falls, oh, the money on the black market and organized crime. Back then, this is where all those phone sex chat rooms came from. Those were Russian, and now the previously fallen Iron Curtain, that's where the women are coming from. And who's in charge of it? The Russian mob? Now, calm down, because you can't say that. Back then, yeah, it's the Russian mob. No, sorry, don't get mad. The Ukrainians were one group. Don't get mad. The Czech, what was Czechoslovakia, the Czech girls. Don't get mad. Understand. Because right now the talk in the refugee centers is sex trafficking and white slavery. And if we are to believe 6.5 million refugees, oh, the numbers are frightening right now of what is happening. And the argument of the Russian soldiers' inhumanity as they loot a gas station for groceries. War is ugly. There is no such thing as an unjust war, or an illegal war, or an immoral war. They all are. War is the last most god-awful thing you ever want. And yet, for a government to actually be successful in the only government's real function is the ability to wage war. What do you need a government for? We need a government to protect. Because if you're not absolutely 100% safe, you really shouldn't go out tomorrow. You can download my Pinpoint Go Screw Yourself app over at scootermcgee.com. Doesn't seem to work with anything. Hey, but we're working on it. So as the world continues to wait regarding mask theater on the international level, oh, we all get to parade Ketanji Jackson Brown or Ketanji Brown Jackson. Again, everyone's got to have a hyphen. How come all the male athletes now have hyphens? What's going on? Dear God, I'm turning into an old man. The international community is going to gather. Yeah, for a photo op. And you're allowing this. The same military commanders and expertise and governors and you know the disciples of the idiots who've all been a part of the international community for decades. You mean the ones who got us into this problem? All of them need to be taken out with Leslie Stahl. Now, whether you put them up against a wall or you just let them free range, I'm sorry, Wyoming. It's going to have to happen. We take Wyoming, we fence it off. Gotta love George Carlin. We throw all of you in there, and we just give you Jack Daniels and PCP, and we let you have at it. And that's the end of you, because we're done. They can't prop the economy up anymore. The economic numbers when Biden first came in, and we need more stimulus, and we need build back, we need more, and we need this, and just keep throwing money. They have printed a absolutely immoral, illegal, unjust amount of fake money into the system that now you're all paying the price. And if you think the price of $4 or $5 or even 6 and 7 in California is bad now, oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. We still have to get out of the winter blend to spring blend, the summer. You know, we got that blending thing going on. We certainly don't hope there's any environmental terrorism because we don't call it that anymore. When the wildfires just start for no reason and a pipeline or a railroad track just, in the Ukraine and Belarus, we call it sabotage. Here it's just an act of God and we'll raise the prices somewhere. I'm sorry, are we allowed to call Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas anymore? I ask about the Native Americans who should be very upset right now because India is still buying war. Buying war. They're paying for war. They're buying oil. They're buying war. Calm down. The people of India, you want to get mad at them because they rely on Russian oil. Because they don't have electric cars. Gotcha. Where are they going to buy them from? 84% spike in 21 days in the United States. All the electric cars, not all of them, most of the inventory is now off the lot. Good luck ordering one. There's going to be supply chain issues. Yeah, you seem to be getting excited about that. Kind of like when COVID first started. And sorry, due to COVID, we're unable to do that. We're sorry. We're very sorry. You condescending little mother. You're so foolish, it's not even funny anymore. But too many people still believe it. They're waiting with bated breath for our world leaders to come together and vote one of them in charge of the world. They've never been in charge of their own checkbook. They're in charge of the global checkbook and the U.S. checkbook, and they've balanced it miserably. How's Chernobyl doing, by the way? Oh, we don't need that story right now. Okay. Where's the new variant on COVID? Too early to tell. Okay. Anybody check in yet with that the cargo ship that sunk off the coast of Iran? Anybody notice that story? Nah, they're too busy. Okay. Do I dare ask? Now that you're demanding we block them from the internet and get them off here and you don't worry about paying an extra dollar at the tank because you're on a different economic level than the peons. How are you going to get your cryptocurrency converted into something when you can't get on the internet? I can get on the internet. Yeah, in the Ukraine now, Russia, they locked theirs out and now created the .ru exclusively for Russia. Ukraine just rolled out your what is it, the digital social credit score. That's it. That's only in Ukraine. That's not coming here. Of course not. That's a conspiracy theory. You're dangerous. You need to go to Wyoming in that cage with the PCP and the. No, no. They've been talking about doing this in the Great Reset. Joe Biden is a stuttering idiot right up until he does the speech about a new world order, which was not one from 20 years ago. No, I mean in the last week. In the last week. It was maybe 10 days, because today's now Tuesday, and it was in last week's news cycle. We're a month into a war that Russia, because of their propaganda, believing theirs, and the Ukraine and the West believing their propaganda, we had a major problem. Holy, we got 10,000 Russian soldiers dead. We do not have 498 dead. And I said back then, Kremlin speak. It's all 10-to-1 ratios anyway. So these numbers are important to watch, especially how they manipulate them, because you're all being manipulated now about Mariupol. Because remember, the only reason it came on this show for any significance was overnight. They alleged, Western media, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera didn't. They all ran with 200,000 people were evacuated from Mariupol. They were still calling for a no-fly zone. They wanted a safe zone. They wanted a safe corridor because we were well past 500,000 refugees. We were 2 million and climbing. If the guesstimate from Saturday, Sunday from the UN at 6.5 million, we're at 10 million as of tomorrow morning, Wednesday. Sorry, we missed a time check. Holy, was I distracted. It is now, it's 1:17 in the morning. That can't be right. Maybe I should wear some glasses. What the time is it? No, that can't be right. No, because I run fast. That can't be right either. Now I feel like Bluto from Animal House. Look, by now you know what time it is wherever you are. It's 9, let's call it 9:20 Moscow time in the morning. It's Wednesday morning Moscow. The mothers and the wives and the children and the grandparents, the body bags are coming home. Back to 498. There was no way when they first said that story, I'm like, no. See, because if they lost less than 50, they wouldn't say anything. So that number, if it's 500, no, it's got to be 5,000. And then the guesstimate was 5 to 7,000. No, 9,800 and climbing. We got 16,000 wounded. Holy. Okay, now rough numbers again. I know it's not 200,000 soldiers. I tried to experiment with 100,000, not working. We're going to call it 180,000. No, for these numbers, it's 200. The original estimates from some of the independent army guys, the guys who do this stuff, and that's all they do, man, is crunch numbers. Hey, the feed on that webcam it's been up for 3 weeks. You yanked it down. You're showing a screenshot. Why? Because I got guys on the ground right there in the square waving, and we can't see them. And what they're showing is there's a bunch of Russian tanks right here. What are they doing? They're not shooting. They're driving through town. Oh, they're tearing up the roads. They stopped at a stoplight. See, now that's odd. Just the armored personnel carriers and the tanks. And they're on the road and they're driving. Oh, red light. Hey, these are only Russian exercises. We're not at war. Okay. Mario Andretti, apparently now, one of the great-grandchildren, is part of the Russian armored, Marine division, whatever they're called. Whatever they're called, Russian generals are dropping out of the field of 5 generals and counting. 3 colonels, 2 lieutenant colonels. Oh my God. So you got to be a lieutenant colonel or higher to even get a recognized medal in this next game. The Russians really thought they'd pull this off and get to the river within 72 to 96 hours. No way. because the Soviet playbook, tangent, back to Putin. Putin's East German, St. Petersburg, the Russians, and the mafia, and we got into the sex chat rooms. Sorry. That Putin is still of the Soviet mentality, and he's using the Soviet playbook. He's directing the Russian army through the use of his chiefs of staff and his generals and the Politburo and the FSB, formerly the KGB. So they're all working. They have their own little international community going on. We have to attack the oligarchs, but only the Russian ones. They're the evil ones. What about the Western ones? There's just well, Bill Gates is not an oligarch. He was at a ball game and he had a couple of girls with him, and those are called hookers. They are not. They are escorts. I know the world of lap dance to an escort and everything in between. Everyone's got to have their name and their pecking order in the sex work industry. Are you people insane? I point out that Putin is what Putin is. He is corrupt because of out of St. Petersburg and the world of the fall of the Berlin Wall. The only way you made it into any successful position at that point was corruption. And in the meantime, the fall of the wall, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Well, remember all the people we had just to Gorbachev? We're not at, we're 100 plus years into the Russian Revolution. We haven't had that many Russian leaders. The wall goes down and all hell breaks loose. And it becomes a true free-for-all. Is what it is. How do you become one of the richest men in the Soviet Union? Well, practice, baby, practice. Just like getting to Carnegie Hall in the West. It's no different. Why can't we assassinate Putin? It's no different than Fidel. He's got his circle. It's pretty easy to identify if a new target comes into that circle. Well, they're going out in a car, and they're not coming back. It's barbaric. Yeah, war is barbaric. And everything you have to do to put up the facade, the illusion of war, because that's it in a nutshell. The Soviet Union collapsed not because of communism, but communists tried to be capitalists. They tried to keep up with the Joneses, and the U.S. kept claiming we had all this weaponry. Well, if they say they have it and we don't, we can't have a cruise missile gap or a wet whatever gap or can't have that. So we got to pump more money. What is the solution to all these problems? Just pump more money into it. Yeah, but at some point your bluff is going to be called. And then we're going to gather. We're going to have a meet. We're going to need flags and a logo. Okay, get somebody on that. And we're going to meet. And we're going to take a vote. Well, we may have to we'll break into committees first. We should workshop this. Get the talking points. We should do some media. Because the time of importance, there's no more time of importance than the time we have that's important now. It's the vice president over there. Yeah, I'm the crazy one. The U.S. economy is not looking good. We need a scapegoat. The president, of course, in the last 30 days signed the executive orders. See, it's not his administration, his policy. No, it's just here. Like, he's signed with a pen. Surprised it's not a crayon. It's actually better. They give him a pen. It's invisible ink. So he sees that he signed it. And they take it away. And just being in the air, it just kind of evaporates in 30 seconds. It's back to a blank page. God, in a perfect world, wouldn't that be cool? Everything he thought he signed it. That person's a hero. Signed an executive order to look into how the U.S. can have a digital currency. Hey, wait a minute. I thought the conspiracy theorists were all worried about the mark of the beast and having to carry your papers and taking us off the cash system. Oh, yeah, we forgot to tell you. Shh. Remember this stuff? Remember when COVID and they said that even this and the paper money could get you sick? Well, yeah, since it's not silver anymore, because you've actually You know, the silver in your canteen. And you just, oh, excuse me, I'll be quiet. Um, we're about to have another change shortage. I guess during COVID, the Federal Reserve, just all that money they kept printing went on the books and went elsewhere because they've been pulling in currency left and right. Don't see any experts talking about that in the news. No, because they're waiting for the whatever group is now looking into the U.S. possibly having digital currency. You mean they don't have that already stuck in a drawer like the Amero? Oh, these aren't conspiracy theories. I wish they were. Conspiracy theory, of course, if you're just joining us, came from anyone who dared question the narrative of the Warren Report. And it was truly weaponized by Hillary Rodham Clinton when she stood by her man. She wasn't going to just be a, sorry, it was a vast right-wing conspiracy against her husband. What are they going to call those who go after anyone associated with the all but disruption of events of November 2020 regarding Hunter Biden's laptop? The ability to discuss it, have a conversation about it, to, again, I'm welcome to sit down and have a debate. It's not vetted. It's just, it can't be verified. Have you looked at it? Have you gone to Giuliani's? Hey, here it is, right here. The FBI came and searched everything. Funny, they didn't take this. That kind of makes us all even that much more suspicious. Well, all of these military intelligence people, they claim that they know. And so we said what they said. They told us to say. That's how you vet information. Okay, again, Leslie, you need to be out of the room now. You're done. And to the ladies of the View, and to Don Lemon and Cuomo and Stelter, and oh dear God, yeah, well, there's major problems. Sorry, Lester Holt. Out the door you go. Horrendo Revolver, aka Jerry Rivers or Geraldo Rivera. Goodbye. Can't miss you till you're fucking gone. George Stephanopoulos, somebody take him out of his high chair and throw him in an alley. No, just out the door and let him fend for himself in the trash cans. You're going to give him a pass. They're going to create another crisis. And even if they didn't mark their spot today, 322, it's coming. It could come 4-1. It could come 4-3 or 4-2-2-2. And 4-11, 4-13 are just too obvious. Because the war in Ukraine, by the way, here's your Scooter Damas moment. The war in Ukraine wages on as of 4/13/2022. That's 3 weeks from now. There's no way I could know that. But there was no way that I could have known in the first week of January, almost to the hour, when Russia would invade Ukraine. Because it went around the moon, the lunar schedule. But we had the Olympics. No, the weather and the snow. You're not, again, I don't think you've spent a minute identifying a war plan. You've never looked at a Soviet textbook when it comes to war. You don't understand the Soviet men. They're madmen. They're crazy. See your propaganda, and I can't talk to you. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. You need to understand your enemy. If you ever think you're gonna, I don't think that's Sun Tzu. That's the. See, in the mafia, if you go to prison, you have to read the book. Irish mafia haven't gone to prison, so I haven't read the book. God damn it, it's not Nietzsche. It's yeah, send him to prison, make him read Nietzsche. Dante's Inferno. Doesn't matter. So people now put the wall up. It's all judge, very quick, you're this. Soviets don't work that way. The Soviet mentality is one thing. And then through the Politburo and the Soviet ideology is an entirely different thing. Vladimir Putin comes out of the Soviet Cold War era, East German Stasi. Until you realize that, and wait a minute. Okay, now do a little. Holy, Scooter is right. That sucks. Yeah, I don't like it either. But now understand the thinking, where he was as a young man, and now witnessing what they're witnessing as. And again, military sources and intel, we just couldn't foresee that something. Both, both, lying mother, both. No, you knew it was coming because this plays into the global community and the creation of the European Union and the fall of the wall and peace and NAFTA and our trading partners. You share intelligence in real time with your trading partners. They walk out the door and they get on their smartphone. Hey, guess what I got for you? Now this one's free. Here, Russia. We're poor China. Biden was stupid enough to call us. Here's what he said. We still want to know what President Xi and Joe Biden talked about for 2 hours. White House keeps talking about the talks. Where's the transcript? It'll be national security. I'm waiting for that. Really, you hyped up a call all week. The world waits to hear. Both sides of the propaganda are 180 degrees. The truth has to be in the middle. Can we see the transcript? Did you see that the ship that they had under the Antarctic? I'd like to see the transcripts of the call, please. You know you should be worried about COVID. Have you had a COVID test? You look a little red. You look flushed. Are you okay? You seem aggravated. Don't be threatening me. I just want to see the transcripts so that I could read them. Then I could make up my own mind about what was said in the meeting. Don't seem to want us to know that. They want us to focus on the children and the elderly and the refugees of Ukraine. Send your money, send your support, your hopes and your prayers. Get on social media and change your colors. Okay, but the mothers and the fathers and the grandmothers and the grandfathers and the children and the grandchildren of the Russian soldiers who are coming home in body bags in ratios we have not seen since Vietnam. Holy, we got a much bigger problem. And I forget the Charlie Wilson's War, the character Seymour Hoffman. I liked him because I'm that guy. You know, we'll see. The story he tried to tell in the beginning of the movie, at the end when they're on the patio, so he goes, hey, throws the drink out and goes, hey, you need to listen to this. Okay? Boom, 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 and boom. You better start doing this now or we're screwed. But the young boy who breaks his leg and can't go to war and then grows up and get all that, we'll see. No, this one's easy not to. I mean, you can see this coming. You can see this coming because it happened before. They're doing it again because they got away with it last time. You think it's a coincidence that Vladimir Putin is going into the Ukraine to get rid of a Nazi regime? You fell for that line. That's Russian propaganda. Are you sure? Hate to bring up the conspiracy keepers again. Joe Lanier had to remind everybody that it was William Casey, formerly Ronald Wilson Reagan's chief of staff, who became head of the CIA. When it comes to propaganda, if the CIA is really doing their job, how do you know? Well, again, like true intelligence, will you just go into a cafe or a bar or a barber shop or anywhere where people congregate, where they're comfortable and they talk? And you'll know. How will you know that if everything they believe is real is a lie? Then you know you're doing your job right. Oh my God. And that was in the 80s. Well, Iran-Contra, and then he had to have a little brain tumor, and I think he went to Bethesda or Walter Reed, and the career then of, who was the, Bob Woodward and Bernstein. They hadn't had a hit, since Woodstock. No, since Watergate. and Iran-Contra was its own thing, and uh, Woodward wasn't getting much traction. Talk shows weren't what they were, and all-night news and cable and all that really doesn't blow up until Gulf War One. Iran-Contra's before that. And so Bob Woodward writes this book in which he alleges he snuck in, and they bought this book, and they believe this book. Wait a minute. The head of the CIA has a brain tumor. Uh-huh. And he's in the hospital. Uh-huh. And Bob Woodward sneaks in and interviews him. That's the story. They're believing that? Okay, well then they're fucking retarded. How isn't retarded bleeped out? I don't know, because they're not, I mean, they're just held back. They're held back the truth. Oh my God. And Iran-Contra, that all started with that pesky, and I always said C-130, it's not, but it was the cargo plane with the guns and the drugs. We see this is good. We bring the guns down, and then we bring the cocaine back. Thank you, Barry Seal. No, it wasn't Barry Seal. It was Eugene Hassenfuss. So we got a pilot and drugs. This time we got a pilot. He's the ghost. See, the playbook, and you just keep, and you think I'm stupid. Now, I hope none of you are stupid. I'm sorry for tonight. I really should know where my notebooks went. I left this morning early, and I literally got home 3 minutes before air. I apologize. I wish I could give refunds. If you're on Patreon, I should probably just let you cancel. I apologize. I will be back tomorrow. Oh, that's the other. I may not be here. I'm fine. I have to be somewhere tomorrow for a client. It is quite possible. Seeing where I was, I did a test, and I sent it, and I haven't even had a chance to talk to him. Hey, we tested the room. Is this going to work? And in the video, I'm like, this isn't going to work. It's right here. This isn't. No, this is not. But I was told by the client, oh, yeah, no, you can do that here. I don't care. I just need you here to do it. I went, all right, let me see what I can do. And then, as many times as my world got flipped upside down today, at least finally it flipped right side up for once in my life. And I apologize. I had to have a series of conversations. Some of you have already talked. Okay, we're good. To anybody else who I haven't, I apologize. And, see, I'm not going to do that. I'm just not. Gotham Metropolis. Now, where am I? We're good. Oh, shit, we went long. I need a smoky treat. So, I said that I would continue to do this through the 30th. We are going to continue till every night, 11 p.m., 1 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Moscow, 3 p.m. Tokyo, and 10 p.m. for our friends in Sherman Oaks. I will, it's going to be 30 minutes, no less. This went long. Headlines only. Tonight, I apologize for the ramblings. This will be the last time. He said that the other night. Well, that was a bad day, too. But this one didn't have a happy... Now, that sounded dead. That sounded bad. This one had a happy ending. Look, the night isn't over. I mean, I don't go to bed till 5 a.m., so I'm kind of screwed. My website is back up and running, I was told, 5x5, scootermcgee.com. Thank you guys for doing that, down in FEMA Region 4. Again, we did do the Conspiracy Keepers. I encourage you to go listen to them. There was a much better conversation than the time I just wasted here with you tonight. So for that, I apologize. So it's not going to be an April Fool's gag. I said that I would agree to do this every night. Excuse me, every night, 11 p.m. Mountain, which is 1 a.m. Eastern. I was asked to do this. Once I started it, somebody went, ooh, hey, you need to do why? Because we have to have a conversation. I said, okay. So I may or may not go live again then. Okay, 30 days in a row, I'm going to take a day off. I don't know. Never really did that before when I worked. And this isn't work by any stretch. I apologize in not being able to. I missed my normal day of just being able to do XYZ. I enjoy watching and skimming the news of all of the different sides and opinions. There are stories right now coming out of Hollywood that are getting weird. Especially since the judge, and we're not going to do any more Bob Saget, no more information and no more this. Well, here come the body cams from the officers that arrived. So that story is not going away. Major League Baseball is about to kick off in April. Spring training has begun, meaning as we get to the weekend, I have not looked at baseball schedule, and I should. The commissioner announced 162 games. The doubleheader nonsense, I never look. A doubleheader's a doubleheader, and it's a long day. But there was a reason for it back then. There's no such thing as being able to take a family of four. There's no family four fun pack to Coors Field. That's a $200 day. Parents do not. That's no. But the kids have $800 iPhones, so it's no. No. I grew up Minnesota Twins, Met Center. That's a lie. Metropolitan Stadium. Met Center was across the parking lot. Not hole passes for the kids. Yeah, it was like $1 or $2 to go to the game. Why? So Grandpa could put us all in the family truckster, in the station wagon. Grandpa, uncle, a drunken brother-in-law. It didn't matter who's taking the kids out to the ball game. The economic landscape is not good. I got down a major hole with the Twins, and I shouldn't have. Conspiracy Keepers, go listen to them. See me at scootermcgee.com. I'm sorry for today. My brain is not here right now. It is somewhere else that it really doesn't want to be. Yeah, it does. No, bad. This is even a worse idea than the fighter jets going, we should give them F-16. No. No. Now, me go tell my friends, hey, I got a really good, bad idea, Scooter. No, see, you don't get it. Yeah, we do. Bad idea. Well, I'm going to do it anyway. All right, well, let us know how that works. I don't know. I'm thinking out my butt. I really shouldn't be doing this. I got to go. I mean tonight. I'll see all of you tomorrow. I'll be normal again. This was not a good idea. But there's no mechanism in place. I don't have an assistant or anything where I go, oh, hey, just tell everybody I'll be in. Hey, Micah, yes, best of. See, those days are gone. And I'm not going back to radio. That's not what this was about. But what was discovered by somebody in another podcast I did for another friend, when I had to do something, they were like, why aren't you? And I went, look, no. But there's still, and then the other day they're like, you just did it. I did that for a friend. Well, you should start doing that for money. I went, look, I am not a paid whore. I never was. That's why I got out of broadcasting, at least with my dignity. But on the 30th, there's going to be a discussion because there was X number of days when I said that I would entertain the idea. And then I'll give you a hint. So the what's the show? Proof. You should know the name of the show you're on. God. It's not my fault. She gets in my head. It's called Proof. It came out in the end of... Shit, I don't remember. 2020. End of 2019, beginning of 2020. Yeah, because I'm at PBS. Okay, so it's called Proof. It's available on Amazon Prime. You can watch it there. Google Proof, Scooter McGee, you'll find it. You know, Secrets of Underground, of DIA, and mind control, and chemtrails, and all that fun stuff. I don't know if there has been a talk of rebooting that project for a second season. I wouldn't know until my agent called me and he said, you're doing that again. Okay. It's a friend of mine's project. He'd asked me to do the first one. I never even thought I would make... I figured I'd be all over the cutting room floor, to be really honest. I didn't think they'd use any of it. And they did. So I don't know where that's... I've got to be honest in that I don't know. There's been... Would you... Sure I would. Well, it's so-and-so. I'll be happy to do it. But I haven't heard anything. So... And that world is a whole nother world where it runs, hurry up and wait. Okay, well... I wasn't going to hurry up and wait for anybody. But I took the call. So that'll be that. See all of you again. We're going to see... Okay, 44 minutes. I really rambled. I said 30. Notice 37, and that's an extra 5. I apologize. Be well, be safe. Be very leery of these headlines, especially now as we gather together in the international community to denounce and call for the world to do what? Exactly. You know, because this whole, we're going to just, daylight savings, we're just going to leave it here. We're all going to meet and we're going to vote and we're going to pass legislation. If that legislation adds 1 nickel to the deficit, go yourself. Stop with the clocks. You're still playing around with the English language. Let's use one measurement system at a time for you to manipulate. Leave time alone. We're going to need money to fund the study of how this may affect, the desert wild eagle. Then no. No. Most Americans, you still don't know what they passed in the omnibus bill. This gets scarier by the hour. And I gotta go. It has been a long day. I needed to decompress, check my email, return some calls and texts. God. Just gonna leave for an hour. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna run to the store and get Cokes and Smokes. Bad idea. Scooter, yes, can you do us a favor? I gotta learn to say no. Whew, look at the time. No, I can't even figure out what time it is. I gotta go. Good night, Gotham. See you in the funny papers, see you in the World Wide Web, or see you sooner. Godspeed, everybody. I really gotta go.